because it doesn't matter if it's, you know, if the pop-up valve's open or closed, because it's not even going that way. So once again, you have blue, which means what? Waste. So that needs to hook into the waistline in some way, shape, or form, right? So we'll just do this as the easiest way to do so, so that we don't, and this could be in any position but what?
Standing up.
Straight down.
Any position but that, on the surface. That's why it's held in there. So this is fine, you know, just so that the flow is going through. All right, and then we've got, this is gonna hook up to where? Patient. Okay, that's then the tracheal tube. This needs what on the other end then? Next to the open close valve?
Okay, are we breathing around?
It'll be a smaller one because we're going to be like dealing with a cab or something. But the bag is what goes there. Okay, so this is the correct appearance of that.
What about the other two?
Are you responsible
Okay.
for both?
You're responsible for both, yes. That's where this disconnect piece on this machine comes in. There's this plastic component right here that pops out. This little plastic piece fits snugly. How do we know that that's the right spot? Because it's directly connected to the outflow component of the vaporizer. Okay. This tubing does come out, so just be aware, but you know, the idea is making sure that the bag is on the correct side, which if you try, you can see that it won't easily fit if somehow that got disconnected when you're messing with it. It all should fit, all right? And so if we're trying to pressure test this system, we actually close off to the waste gas line, just like we would with the pop-off valve. Turn on the O2 flow. We don't use the O2 flush usually for the small volume here. And what we're trying, this is the same way you'd give a breath, okay? To give a breath in a patient that has the non-rebreather, which, and then if we turn it off and push on the pressure here, there's no manometer gauge, but what it shows is that it's holding pressure in there. Because if this is open and we put pressure on, all this that's in the bag goes out. Okay. So to give a breath, you quickly hit to close, put pressure, watching the chest, because there's no manometer gauge, so the only thing you have is the chest. Make sure it, you know, inflates, then reopen it immediately. Because if you leave this up closed, it will really quickly build up pressure, because we're running high oxygen flow rates.
And the concept's the same whether it's like isopor or oxygen as far as
Yep. The only difference there is what you set that to, and you know, and how that behaves then by MAC and all those other things. But the concept of delivery for all these inhalants that are volatile at room temperature is the same. We don't have to mess with that.
So we're gonna have to demonstrate setting it up, we're gonna, you're gonna ask us about oxygen flow, that's flowing through there and stuff too?
So I'm gonna give you patient information, so you're gonna have to pick a bag. Remember the calculations there. I need to get you that worksheet back, but it's 60 mils per kilogram if you're combining the two math components together, right? Tidal volume times 10 is your bag size. So 60 mils per kilogram, that calculates your bag. Of course, it's going to be somewhere on a margin, because how else would it be easily tested to see that you round up, right? So, and then you're going to have to be able to pressure check the machine. You'll probably have to also, I'll see when I write all this down, but there's a chance you might have to change it up as if you had a different sized animal, and it might be in the small weight class needing a non-rebreather. Because proficiency with this machine is what the midterm is really about.
Okay.
Okay?
And make sure we're not concentrating about the ECG part.
Well, there's a chance for some of that to be in play. We've had worksheets such as today that cover some of that. We've covered a lot of that ground. But practical-wise, this is, you know, you guys have what's now in place to be successful. Right? And if you want to mess with the machine on Monday, set up with Joyce or Scott to do so. Right?
Right, easy and
Do it.
Yeah.
Teach me.
There is another machine. It is a demonstration. The only problem with it is that we have a Y piece on the back, which we can use with our ventilator, which means that when we turn on oxygen, it goes to room because it doesn't have a check valve.